Yell all you want. We encourage that. This is just plain stupidity. Somebody pouring some popcorn and...
The NBA playoffs are back in their glory days after more than a year of empty bleachers and fans tuning in only virtually, and everyone is understandably excited. After all, like every other kind of performer, NBA players love feeding off the energy of a live audience. But there might be too much excitement on the part of the returning fans, resulting in some unruly behavior that's causing issues within the league. Before we reveal the way certain fans have been behaving during these playoffs, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you won't miss any of our next videos. Here's a rough timeline documenting the kind of disappointing behavior NBA fans have shown so far this season. On May 26, 2021, the Washington Wizards were playing Game 2 of their first-round playoffs with the 76ers when Russell Westbrook suffered an unfortunate ankle injury that had him hobbling off the court with more than 10 minutes left in regulation. As if it wasn't bad enough that he was forced to walk off and head to the locker room as his team went on to suffer a painful lopsided loss, a fan also had to dump popcorn on Westbrook's head when he walked by. Take note that this happened in Wells Fargo Center, so the Wizards were definitely not expecting a red carpet welcome from their opponent's home fans, but surely this was crossing the line, right? Westbrook even had to be restrained from responding. The 76ers promptly apologized and revoked the fans' season tickets, along with banning him from the venue indefinitely. After the incident, Westbrook and a couple of other players like his teammate Bradley Beal and even LeBron James called on the NBA to better protect its players from fan attacks. But, as you may have guessed, not much has changed since this unnerving incident. In fact, the next night, a New York fan was caught on camera spitting on Trae Young during the Knicks' Game 2 win over the Hawks. Young took it all in stride, even retweeting the video and laughing it off while noting the presence of 50 Cent right there sitting courtside right below the spitter. The fan, who was apparently not even a season ticket holder, was banned from Madison Square Garden indefinitely after the gross incident. The Knicks also issued a statement saying they've investigated the matter and determined that the patron did indeed spit on Trae Young. The team apologized to Trae and the entire Hawks organization for the fans' behavior, saying that what happened was completely unacceptable and will not be tolerated in their venue. On May 30th, as the Brooklyn Nets star point guard Kyrie Irving walked off the TD Garden court in Boston after his team's 141-126 Game 4 victory over the Celtics in their first-round series, a plastic water bottle sailed past his head just as he was about to enter the tunnel leading to the visiting locker room. Irving, who played 2 seasons for the Celtics, was not struck, but a male fan wearing a Kevin Garnett Celtics jersey was arrested for throwing the bottle and is subject to a lifetime ban, according to a statement from a TD Garden spokesperson. Kevin Durant was not having any of it. He said, "I know that being in the house for a year and a half with the global health situation got a lot of people on edge, got a lot of people stressed out. We're not animals. We're not in a circus. You coming to the game is not all about you as a fan. So have some respect for the game, have some respect for these human beings, and have some respect for yourself. Your mother wouldn't be proud of you throwing water bottles at players, or spitting at players, or tossing popcorn. So grow the F up and enjoy the game. It's bigger than you." Sam Summers, who chairs the psychology department at Tufts University, has hypotheses as to why this is happening. The first, of course, is the return to normalcy. After 15 months away from sporting events, Summers says, "We're being reminded of what can happen and has happened over the years when you mix the arousal and fervor brought on by competition, fueled sometimes by alcohol." The other hypothesis? This is what Summers had in mind. We're also seeing a bit of the pent-up energy, angst, whatever we want to term it, that's just built up over this lockdown quarantine period and people not being able to go do what they want in the sporting world. When you think about someone who grows up in a restrictive environment with a lot of rules and regulations, and they get out of that household and they just sort of go crazy and sow their wild oats, and maybe we're seeing some of that too. And if you think it's just the NBA players suffering from such disgusting behavior from supposed fans of the game, you're unfortunately mistaken, as even the supportive parents of some players have been subjected to attacks. On May 28th, the Utah Jazz announced that 3 fans have been banned following verbal altercation in Game 1 of the team's playoff series against the Grizzlies. The organization did not immediately offer an explanation as to what exactly happened, but fortunately, Ja Morant's parents broke their silence about what they experienced at the Vivint Arena, and it quickly became clear that it was so much more than just a verbal altercation. reason. In an interview with ESPN, T. Morant, Ja's father, explained that the entire family experienced racism while watching Ja play. He revealed that at one point a fan told him, "I'll put a nickel on your back and watch you dance, boy," while another made explicit remarks to Ja's mother, Jamie, while also saying something we can't repeat here. T says he's not at all oversensitive to trash talk, having been around basketball culture for years, but he said those remarks clearly crossed the line. T also said he understands that racism is not really part of the culture, but is something still practiced by a vile few. He said there was a silver lining, though, care of a lot of well-intentioned fans that were around the Morant family that time, having a fun back and forth with them throughout the game. T said these fans stood up for them when they were approached by the racist fans and even notified security about the incident. Because of this and the swift response of the Jazz organization in condemning what happened, T. Morant said the team has now gained his admiration. In fact, he said he's joining the Jazz bandwagon after their 5-game win in the first round. Moments after the top-seeded Jazz ended the series with a 126-110 win, T told Donovan Mitchell that he'd be rooting for the Jazz for the rest of the playoffs. In a brief courtside conversation, he apparently told Mitchell, "Hey yo, I'm going for y'all right now. Why? Because y'all didn't have to do that. Y'all didn't have to show love to us like that." Apparently, the patriarch of the Morant family appreciated the way the organization reached out to them to bridge the gap. Because of this, T. Morant is now hoping the Jazz will win the championship. Mitchell, who played impressively that night, said he was touched by what he heard from Ja's dad. He told ESPN, "For me, it was just the ultimate sign of respect. You see him talking about the way he handled it, the way we went about it. For me, that's just how you approach it. Things are going to happen, and you've got to show a side of gratitude, bridging that gap." So what exactly did the Jazz organization do to address the attacks on their player and his parents? Maybe this is the blueprint that the league and all the other organizations under its banner can replicate whenever fans exhibit behavior that is threatening to players. Here's what they did, according to ESPN. Several members of the Jazz organization, including first-year owner Ryan Smith, minority owner and former NBA star Dwayne Wade, coach Quinn Snyder, and Mitchell, publicly apologized to the Morant family in the aftermath of the Game 2 incident. The Jazz announced the next day that the 3 fans who were ejected from the game were indefinitely banned from Vivint Arena. Also, in a statement, the organization wrote, "The Utah Jazz have zero tolerance for offensive or disruptive behavior." Additionally, T. Morant's Party of 5 was treated like royalty when they returned to Salt Lake City for Game 5. They were provided with complimentary courtside tickets, free luxury lodging, and car service. Jamie Morant, T's wife and Ja's mother, decided not to return to Utah due to anxiety stemming from the Game 2 incidents, watching the series finale from the family's home near Memphis. So, although the behavior of fans has been causing issues in the league's reputation, there might just be a way to improve moving forward. If we were to take cues from how the Jazz handled the case of the Morants, there is definitely room for improvement. As Donovan Mitchell put it, with the way we handled it as an organization, that in itself shows that we can do this. We're not going to let people's ignorant comments, people throwing popcorn, people spitting, tarnish the NBA. The NBA as a whole, each individual team, and as a league are finding ways to show that we stand for what is right and not letting these fans who get out of control deter us from this sport that we love and everything that we enjoy. There's ways to go about it to show we don't stand for this. That's what the message was. We're not going to let a few idiot fans in each arena change that or change what our mindset is. We stand by that. The biggest thing is, as a whole, we're starting to see the league and the teams and guys are rallying behind each other, having each other's backs, having the family's backs, understanding that this is a brotherhood. This is a family. Mitchell said it was totally inspirational to see the interaction between Ja and T. Morant before and during Game 5. He praised T, who is known for proudly supporting his son, for putting so much effort into raising Ja and preparing him for everything that comes with having a career in the NBA.